Toffee TV, it's the final word. Bury 1, Everton 1 in a pre-season. The second pre-season game, but the first one on English soil for Marco Silva. Yeah, wasn't 22-0.
No.
But I suppose it was the first competitive friendly, and it wasn't a bad run out for all those involved, which was a lot of players again.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. Thought they done well. Thought they defended brilliantly and worked really hard. They looked a little bit ahead of Everton fitness wise and sharpness, which is you'd expect because they are. But I thought Everton were okay. I thought we started the game really well the first 20-25 minutes. And then they their fitness levelled it out a little bit as ours dropped off a little bit. But I thought it was a good game.
Yeah, I think you're right about the first 20 minutes. I think you've seen Everton's levels in the first 20 minutes, the highest levels, and then after that, Everton dropped off, and you're right, you've seen their fitness levels, and for those 20 minutes, Everton had 4, 5, 6 opportunities to score, but they were a very organised team who were prepared to get everything in the way, and you can understand why they didn't concede on Saturday against Liverpool. Probably the same thing. The match of sharpness isn't there from the Premier League team, and they were well organised, and they were, you can Ryan Lowe, obviously he's got. I literally said it in the first 5 seconds, didn't I? When there was a their back line was like a perfect line, and you could see how organised they were.
So well organised.
So fair play to them for that. Like, and we had a few opportunities, we never took them, and then they started coming into the game more, and you could see us physically drop off a little bit, and as you said, their sharpness coming through a little bit. But I just wonder whether that was a premeditated thing to really throw everything at it for the first 20 minutes, not to win the game, but in terms of pushing yourself, lads, get out there early, and because it was essentially 2 45-minute games for the two Everton teams on display. So I just wonder whether it was a conscious decision by the manager to say, get out there, first 20 minutes, I want to see you give everything, and so we can almost see how long where you are in terms of levels. Because it's very easy in pre-season, I imagine, to almost go, well, I'm going to play at my own sort of inside 60% and just coast through it. Whereas it looked like yesterday that it was like first 20 minutes, throw everything at it, and then let's see how far you can push it after that. Because I suppose that's the way to see how fit you are and how much more you need to do.
Yeah, were really impressive the first 20 minutes in terms of sharpness. Everton. The thing that impressed me more was, again, which built on Saturday, but built on from that was the actual attacking shape that we had. And I said to you, didn't I, a couple of times, look how many men we've got forward here. And it was leaving the little triangle of your two centre-backs and Schneiderlin. Yeah. Everyone else was on the edge of their box practically, and that's what he builds his teams on. Now, hopefully, the better players you get and the sharper you get, you cut the wrist down. Yeah. But I thought that's what impressed me the most. Baines in the first few minutes, a great run, and their defender makes a wonderful block. We've seen Coleman bombing on. We've seen our wingers tucking in and letting our fullbacks go on the outside. So all the things that are kind of his trademark for his teams were running through, and that impressed me that the players are trying to take that on. It did drop off, of course it did, but with better finishing, certainly in the first half as well. The first half of the first half could have been out of sight 20 minutes in.
No, you're right about the shape. The shape was very evident. Sandro played out on the right hand side, but he played out there for what, 65 minutes?
65 minutes.
Before Cuco Martin came on for him. So there was an obvious shape. There was obviously a bit of a change of personnel from the weekend on the left hand side with no Lookman playing. Yeah. But you could see, as you said then, the three in midfield were very compact in terms of where they moved. They all had their own little roles, and we got width with the forwards, but then the fullbacks wanted to go past them as well. And I thought it was interesting as well, though, it was the case of, like, at times it was about building around their box, so the wingers would get the fullbacks would get round the back, but then keep the ball alive rather than just throwing it aimless crossing, almost to barricade them in and be able to move the ball from one side to the other with all their players in that area. And that's almost reminiscent of, if you watch like the likes of Man City play, how they do it, you know, and where they will use Fernandinho as their final man, and it's about just moving the team they're playing against back and then moving them round. So there are early signs that he wants to do that, and you know, I know people will say it's only a friendly and blah blah blah, but that's what you're looking for, isn't it? You're looking for shape. You're looking for what's going to be the identity of this team moving forward.
Exactly, and that, everything you just said there is, again, like, it's quite linear what he's done with all his teams. It's to create an overload in the final third so that you're difficult to mark. We've always said how slow Everton have been over the last few years in the final third. It's almost walking pace sometimes as they try to move the ball. Everyone's in, whereas he likes to flood that area and people move around so that no one, you're getting away from markers, you're keeping the other team guessing. And it's really encouraging from my perspective, seeing this early, that kind of transition already with these players into the things that he wanted to do. I mean, if you look at Everton last season, certainly the back end of the season under Sam Allardyce, Cenk Tosun would quite often be the only player in the penalty area.
Well, we've seen, well, it's that, you know, we've seen it under the last three managers. How many times Romelu Lukaku would be isolated on his own, and how players wouldn't join in. So that's a different way of things.
But I think you've got to. I think that's what people need to remember. The result, okay. The result. The reality is of the result. It could have been 9-2 to Everton. That's the reality of it. The chances. I mean, we hit the post 4 times. So, you know, that's the way it is. They should have done one when the kid went through and his touch was terrible a second. They probably should have scored that. Other than that, I think, you know, Everton could have ended up 9-2 winners, and people would have been going, God, these have got goal. And all that means is there's a big emphasis on the attacking side of our game, which is great. Absolutely great. It's not sharp enough. Yes, do we need new players? Of course we do. But we also need a little bit of perspective when you're looking at these kind of games. Is 1, they're not fit yet. 2, there's wholesale changes within the course of the game. 3, this is a team that hasn't got Walcott, hasn't got Gylfi Sigurdsson in, Garner's not being there. Obviously Lookman was injured last night. So there's good players to come back into that side that make the team go up another level anyway.
As well. Don't forget.
And obviously our keeper.
I'm not so much just goal saving, I'm talking about playing. Someone getting the ball and using
and confidence. So that's without us adding any players, and we know that we will add players. So it's all about how can you make this set of players better when you're assessing. We heard the manager speak last night after the game and say it's basically next week's going to be some big decisions where players are going to be told enough's enough.
So who impressed you last night then?
I thought, you know what, I thought Sandro had a good game. I did a good hour, 65 minutes, whatever it was. I think he looked more like a footballer last night than I'd seen him in an Everton shirt. I know it's Berry, but I seen him against Roos and Berrock and stuff last year when he just looked like a headless chicken. I thought last night, he wasn't in the game constantly, but he put about 3 great crosses in. We hit the post with 1 off Nias. His finishing is still wayward, but I don't know whether I do know he's trying to force it because that's confidence that the goals have dried up and he's trying to force things. With the one where he got in the second half and he blazes it over, if he'd have just steadied himself and made sure he hit the target, he may have scored or make the keeper safe. But I thought he worked really hard up and down that line, and like I say, he looked a threat. He doesn't look, he's not, I'm not saying he's amazing, but he's looked better.
I think he looks physically more capable. I think I mean, he did go down a few times. That's more mentality than actual strength. I thought he was a lot stronger. I think you're right. I think fitness. Don't forget, he didn't have a pre-season last year. No. People forget this. We played in the under-21 championships, went away, and then started literally. You know, when the game started, when the actual Europa League sort of campaign.
Did he come on again or whatever? And it was a few days before the Roos and Berrock game or something.
He didn't really have a pre-season to get that in terms of ideas. This, you know, he's been there from the start. It'll just be interesting it's interesting to see that he started both games on that right hand side.
As a wide striker, which is
pretty much what he was when we bought him. And I thought his crossing was really good.
Yeah, set pieces were really good.
Yeah,
as well.
set pieces was good, and I just think, well, maybe there's a mentality shit. You know, there's no noise about him. There's no noise about him leaving. There's no noise about anything. He's just getting his head down and training. There's nothing. There's no clubs knocking on the door saying, "Oh, these are linked to them." He's obviously knuckling down, and it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, he's there at the moment because there's no Walcott. That's but you're right. I thought he had a decent game and just looked a little bit sharper and a little bit more in tune with the game.
If you're talking about who impressed you, that's what I'm saying, because I think if you look through the team, I thought Dowell has his moments. I thought at times you looked and went, yeah, this kid could actually play in our team this season. Then he drifts out of the game and you're thinking, got to do a little bit more. It might just be the way we're playing or because everyone's not sharp. But he looks like he could be part of the squad.
One thing I would say about Dowell is, I think Dowell needs people to get him the ball so he needs
to be on the ball.
So the ball moves through him, because I thought every time he had the ball, he used it really well.
Yeah.
He's got a great first touch, like, to get away from his marker.
Yeah.
And I thought every time he got the ball, he moved it really well. So maybe it's a case of people getting the ball to him.
Confidence in him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because
he's a young going, yeah, we'll give you it because you're not going to lose it. Essentially, you're going to use the ball well. It's confidence, isn't it? It's the same. It's the same to a lesser extent when Klassen comes on. They won't give him the ball because they haven't got that confidence in him. So I thought Dal was okay. I thought from that first half, Schneiderlin, I thought done all right. You know, thought he looked like he was interested, which is a big thing. No, but you know, compared to
2 thumbs up for being interested.
Well, he's having a go. I think everyone's having a go, and that's a good thing. I think everybody. I don't think anyone walking out. Morales, you know, had his bright moments, and I'm not saying, not advocating, you know, that's it, get him back in. I'm just saying he looked interested. You know, he looked like he wanted to work hard. Tosin looks like a quality player, but we've got to get more chances to him. He only really had one, and he put it over. He should have done better with. Tom Day, you know, I think people done okay. I don't think anyone really stood out in the first half as like he's having a fantastic game. Like you say, I think Sandro shaded. I think Morales was quite bright as well.
I think with the first half, I think what you're playing against their fittest set of players, aren't you? And that's as the half went on. You've seen that the fact that they had played a few more games and had played better opposition. And obviously towards the end of the half they took the lead with a pretty sloppy goal from our point of view, just a set piece and a touch off, and Dan's gets
good goal from their point of view.
It was a great goal from their point of view, really, but it was just a sloppy goal from our point of view.
Well, we didn't clear the ball, did we, off the initial fleet?
No, but we did that a few times in the game, but again, that's people trying to keep the ball, because, you know, again, it's a friendly, it's a training game. You know, what's the point of times from just putting your foot through it? You know, when it's friendly. When it's just a friendly.
That's fair enough. They're there to make the mistakes, aren't they? They're the games you get it out in. Like I said, that, you know, from our point of view, disappointing. Jags let the lad run off him, and it was a nice little chest through, actually, and it was a tidy finish. And we went in at half time 1 down. Made 9 changes at the break,
wholesale changes, didn't we? So, I mean, obviously different team came out second half, and again the beginning of that they were on top, but obviously as the half went on, we grew, we were a much stronger team, which was I mean, obviously they made a lot of changes, a raft of changes, and we looked a stronger team then. And like you say, we should, you know, Nias comes on. We were talking about Nias, weren't we, when we were there, and it was funny because you watch him, and for everything that he does wrong, or people perceive he does wrong, he's such a live wire. It's mad. It's like he's always in the right place.
Always. If he played 38 games, he would score 20 goals.
Do you think?
It's mad. It's absolutely mad, because there is much better footballers than him, much better. But you cannot teach what he's got, which is getting himself in the right areas.
He does.
He come on last night. So you look at him and Tosin, it's like chalk and cheese in terms of what kind of player he had. Tosin touch is fantastic. He's a clever footballer. Cenk will score goals. No, there's no question about it. He'll do really well, but he has to work a little bit harder. But he drops off and he gets involved, and he can play clever passes and switch the play. Umar gets it, and it's like hitting shins and everything. But in that penalty area, he gets chances, and he got 3 last night from nowhere.
He hit the same post 3 times.
Unbelievable.
3 times he hit and then the 3rd one, and then obviously the 4th one comes. And again, it's like he's in, and the defender hits the ball against the keeper, and then he gets one-on-one, and there's a defender on the line, and you're thinking, and then he like smashes it over his head, and you're thinking, what's a finish? But that's goal. You know, he had another couple later on as well, I think, which weren't as close, but well, he had the one clear off the line, didn't he? This keeper saved. Sorry,
near the end.
He's always, you know, there or thereabouts, trying his hard, and it's weird because, and we've said it ourselves. I think actually his biggest weapon might be the fact that people think he's crap. Because things do bounce off, and there's times where, like, if you had a decent first touch, or not even a first touch, a second touch, you'd be a hell of a striker. But
what you've got to look at, though, I think people have lost. It's gonna sound mad, this. I think people have lost how you judge a player. Right, and I don't mean that like people don't know how to judge a player. I don't mean it like that. I mean the criteria for certain players around a bit. It's like now goalkeepers all of a sudden, if they're not fabulous with the feet, aren't as good as other goalies. And some keepers might be great with the feet, and actually, as a goalkeeper, are not as good as what the other keeper is, if you know what I mean. You know, you might get a centre back like John Stones, who looks great bringing that ball out, but actually he can't defend properly.
Not like Harry Maguire.
Do you know what? But there you go, yeah. You know, or a midfield player who can do one job but can't do, and it's like, well, he's no good because he can't do that. What's a centre forward there for? No. Primarily, it's to put the ball in the back of the net.
But on the same token, I suppose with Nias, you look at him and think, well, he doesn't fit the Everton criteria because of all the reasons why we said, when you're isolated and you're not getting chances and you have to hold the ball up and you have to bring other people into play like Cenk Tosin, Nias isn't that man. But when the game's stretched and when it's tight and when you know, you're coming towards the end of the game and people are getting tired and there might be a half chance, he's the man you want. He's the man.
This is why when people go, just sell him, you're like, why? If he doesn't want to go, why would you sell him? How much do you think Everton would get for him realistically if we put him up for sale now?
15, 16 million, so we'd make what, 3 million quid on him? That's the point.
Right. How much would Everton have to pay to buy a new centre forward who would score 10 plus goals?
Not exactly.
Probably
ridiculous.
25, 30
Think about
million.
the asses, and we've had this discussion loads of times. The lad seems happy at Everton. He seems to enjoy Everton. He knows the fans are with him.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, people can say, oh, he's crap and all this and we'll never get anywhere with him. But he's not, like, he doesn't seem any trouble, even though people have made out that he's trouble. When you're the first day back of pre-season training, you're seeing him there hugging the lad who he's supposed to have fallen out with, who's a lad that is the most laid-back person I've ever seen in football.
And who was actually with him all the time.
Exactly.
He wasn't even in the team. So that was just a nonsense.
He seems like he seems like a nice lad who, you know, he's got mates like Garner at the club, you know.
I think he's just quiet, like generally quiet. I think he just keeps himself to himself, which is, so what?
But I think what he is he probably thinks, yes, I could go somewhere else and I could play more games, but it'd be slightly at a lower level. Whatever, Do I want that? Whereas he probably thinks, I'll get games here and I'll score goals and I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? Like he just seemed like one of those fellas who's just like, I'm happy.
Well, obviously, if Everton got offered the centre forward who's really good and great touch and score goals, you're always upgrading, aren't you? You're always looking to upgrade. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, right now, I don't know where because Cenk Tosin's quite clearly our main striker and should be, because I think, you know, we have to give him that chance and we have to get him chances. And you know that he scored 5 goals and 12 shots last year. last season. So if we can get him chances quite clearly, that he's good at converting chances. Nias is a good backup striker, and then we've got. I'd like another one because I think we should have 4 really. Because I think Dom, too much pressure is put on Dom at times, and I'd like another one. I'm not sure whether we'll get another one. I don't know. But if we haven't, we've got 3 there, haven't we, straight off, and Theo can play through the middle if need be. But Nias is perfect for that. He's perfect. Like you've just said, 20 minutes to go. Game's a bit stretched. Jenks may be knackered, or someone to assist Jenk, get him up close to him, or someone to play. Don't forget, Marco Silva used him wide as a wide striker on the left and down the middle when he had him. He's the reason probably why Nias has got a chance in the Premier League, because he took him and built him up and believed in him. So for me, it's a stupid argument to say get rid, unless you can massively upgrade. I'd keep him because we need someone who can score goals.
I like his attitude because he's written. We've written off. We all wrote him off. Of course we did.
We wrote him off basically because we didn't see him to not be able to make a choice.
The wrist injury.
Yeah, but the wrist injury was bad. It's good to see he's over it though.
So he was a big positive for that second half.
But Callum Connolly done well. I
thought he was all right. I thought he was all right. Davy Klassen wasn't all right. But all right. But it's not that he wasn't all right. He's just not involved in games. No. It just passes him by.
I want him to be good.
Of course, we all want him to be
really good, and I want him to have a chance.
Of course, we all want him to be good.
I don't know whether that position at the tip of the diamond is his position. I'm not sure because, like you said, he just isn't in the game, and I don't know whether. Because in that position, he's not a dribbler, so all he seems to do is play a wall pass back in that position. So it's just give it in and just knock it back to you. But I think if he was deeper and everything was in front of him, because he's clever, you can tell he's got a good football brain, and he's intelligent with his passing. And he done one great little run that kind of encapsulated him. He got involved, got round the back, and cut it back to Connolly, and it wasn't the greatest ball. Callum couldn't sort his feet out. And then he got in again with another great run, and then the worst cross you'll see, just smashed it to no one. But I think when the play's in front of him, I think he'd be decent. It's whether you trust him going the other way defensively. I don't know. Saturday would have been a good thing for him to just get in and get a little bit of confidence playing in that. But if we're going to try and use him in like the Dowell role, it's never going to work for him because he's not that kind of player. I think Ajax started him there and ended up him. He was an 8, then he went as one of the 2 centre midfield players, and that's when he became very successful and he got the captaincy because he can go both, he can run up and down, and he'd arrive late in the box and score. You don't arrive late in the box in the split striker because you're the one that's got to play everything off. And we've seen it when Dowell done it, we've seen when Gylfi played there last season. Everything has to go through you. When Wayne was there, things were going through you rather than you arriving late.
I suppose it's I mean at the moment it is. Obviously, it's pre-season and it's about fitting people into a squad and into a team. Sorry, and last night, Besic played the deeper of.
Besic played well. Talking to people who done all right.
Yeah, he doesn't really do anything. Really, I don't think though. I don't
carried the ball.
No, I know.
3 or 4 times, 50, 60 yards. He's mad, Besic.
He picks the ball up and then just tries the hardest route to get anywhere, and he does, and that's fine. I appreciate why he tries to do things. He's a footballer who thinks he's got ability, and he tries the harder things when sometimes the simpler things are on. But I just don't see him fitting into our midfield. I really don't. But you're right, he did okay. I don't think he was tested that much because he looked bigger and strong. Maybe not bigger, but he just looked stronger and more capable of keeping the ball. But
that's all he can do, isn't it? Really?
No, because it's just
a fitness exercise and to show yourself. I thought Anthony Robinson done all right as well. Thought he'd done okay. He got up and down. He's nicely quick.
I think he did okay. I think I'd like to have seen him take the fullback on a little bit more and use that pace. He got round the back of him once and twice. Sorry, one he put a cross in which was too deep, and one he put it in a decent little area. But I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him push and run a little bit more, because that to me is what you'd be using them for, or what you'd be asking of them. Of course, listen, fitness dictates you don't always want to start hitting the sprints if you're not.
You've got to test it.
No, I know, but not if you're not fully fit. You don't want to pull something if it's. No. What I'm saying, if you're in a game situation now, you should be. But I'd like to see him, because at times he was getting the ball and he was stopping and he was just knocking it inside, and that's fine. I'm not criticising that by any means. I just like to have seen, because I've seen it. We've both seen it. We've seen how fast he is, and I'd like to see him take that fullback on a few
nice
times.
Left foot. So do what Baines does or used to do: get on the outside, put the cross in, drive at the box. But I thought he was nice and positive. Didn't show any, nerves. But I mean, he looked comfortable enough. I think I'm trying to say rather than nervous. Good on the ball, but yeah, like I say, they stuck to the task really well. They defended really well. They got blocks in when they needed to. They had the good 14, of course. Cuca Martina at the post with a header when he really probably should have scored.
Yeah.
Then they had the keepers made important saves at the 9. He asked the winner at the end and things like that. And it ended in a draw. And it is what it is. With better finishing, we'd have stuffed them. But that's the way it is. This is what pre-season's for, to get sharper, to give the manager an idea of what's going on. I mean, we could see the technical director was sat by us, going through the, we were
sat with us,
yeah, watching the laptop and that. But he was going through the stuff, and you could making notes and everything, and it looks all very like they're on to the stuff, they're right on top of everything. Marco was directing, and pulling people around and stuff, which was really good, rather than just standing there watching. He was very involved in the game, as was Ryan Lowe, to be fair for them. So them positive signs are there. Spoke to a couple of people before the game on the coaching staff and that, and they're quite happy with how it's going, and it seems nice and positive. So all in all, it's moving in the right direction. We know that we need to upgrade the squad, but I've been quite pleased with what I've seen so far. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but a lot brighter already. Don't forget what we watched from, well, basically all of last season, but certainly from November through to May.
I think there's an idea of what they want to do, and I think it runs through everything they're doing at the moment. And of course,
we have to be patient, though, don't we? A little bit. We've got to be, haven't we? It's going to take time, isn't it?
In terms of what we're seeing on the pitch, of course you've got to be patient. It's not an overnight. Listen, if people want to get upset about what's happening off the pitch, right? Go mad, go full Michael Douglas, right? Don't go full.
No, don't go full. Because that, when he goes in the shop,
well, he ends up on Santa Monica Pier.
And when he goes in the shop at the start early on, and a fella's just
like that.
It was just a little bit too aggressive.
I've been there, and I've wanted to do that. But anyway,
okay, yeah, go on.
If you want to go mental, right, about the fact that we haven't bought anyone yet, or the Lookman situation, or whatever, do that. I'll sit there and I'll tut when I see it on Twitter, but that's up to you. But in terms of what's happening on the pitch, I don't understand this idea of that they were going to go from one thing to another thing like that in the space of a couple of weeks. And a couple of a training game and a pre-season game, without the likes of the goalkeeper, Gylfi, Garner, Walcott, and just generally being fit. So,
and Lookman even last night.
What did you make of Lookman not being there? The story.
Well, you can look at it any way you want, can't you? You can look at it and be very suspicious and go, oh right, he's got a knock conveniently. But Mason Holgate had a knock and didn't play.
But Everton are adamant that they're not selling him.
Yeah, Everton have come out and said he's not for sale.
But this story about them sending a scout. Number one, what do you need a scout for? You had them for 4 months. What do you need a scout for to watch him?
They're trying.
No, I know what they're trying.
I think they're just keeping the story bubbling.
But I think what they're doing is they're making sure Lookman knows
that they want
him.
Listen, it's frustrating because we'd like to keep him. It's frustrating that he sees his future elsewhere, but from his point of view, he's a 20-year-old lad that isn't living at home and wants to play football. So he's moved away from home, so he wants to play football. He's come here was obviously promised a progression into the first team. Came here, the worst thing he probably could have done was score against Man City on his debut, because then that's given unrealistic expectations on both sides. We know Ronald Koeman's man management wasn't fabulous, so he fell away a little bit at the first half of last season. Unzi got him back in the side, and then Allardyce came and he was back out the side. And I think he probably understood it at first, but the Liverpool game, when he played really well, and everyone knew he played really well, and then that was it. He'd gone again. I think then he probably just thought, well, so he's got out the door and gone to Germany, and they've looked after him and been made up with him, and he scored the winners, and used them correctly, and he's ended up playing really well towards the end of the season, getting spoken about positively. And he's probably thinking, well, I'm an Everton fan, and I've been there I was there a year, Christmas to Christmas. They've hardly played me.
And I wouldn't even say.
And I don't know how they've treated him.
I wouldn't even say they've hardly played him. There was no clear path for how we were going to use him. We brought him in. He got on. He scored. The week after he got, or whatever, he got on at Palace, and then West Ham he came on, and it was almost like, yeah, he scored in that game, didn't score in that game, didn't score in that game. We're going to stand you down now. And then he got used in a few under 23 games, not that many. He'd come on in a couple to make sure they won the league. And then the beginning of the season just gone, they started him in the Europa League games, took him off at half time over in Croatia, and then he wasn't really used again, and then he was out the team, and at times he'd be back in the team, and you can understand why he was not happy with it.
Well, that's it. So, for him, like I said, he's got no affiliation to Everton. He's gone to a club where it's not even from the north. So he's probably like, well,
the north.
You know what I mean? He's from down south, down south. So he's probably looking and going, well, are these going to give me a chance? Where you've got Ralph going,
well, the thing about that is, though, in Germany, it's weird because he started exactly the same, come off the bench and scored a goal, and then he went quiet for a few weeks when it all started. The goal was just a moment, and then it was like, oh, actually, you've got to adjust to playing here and in this system. And then it took him a little bit of time, and then he got back in the side, started actually doing things, not just little cameo moments, actually doing things, because he was bedded into the system, and then consistently went on a run because he'd learned. So what he's seen is that it took him 2 months to get to know the system and how they played, and once he'd got that, while still playing and not being out of sight, out of mind, still playing, still adding things to it, playing poorly but playing and learning, to the point where in the last 5 or 6 games he's scoring goals and making goals, and he'll look at that and go, well, hang on, why couldn't Everton have done that? Why couldn't he have said, you're important to us, right, we're going to play you through the good and through the bad? You know, Balassi was out for a year. You know, there's times when he could have played in that time on that left hand side, but he wasn't. And for him, he'll probably be looking and going, "These have done this in 3 months. I have learnt more there than I've learnt at Everton."
So he's only been back 2 weeks. Do you know, or 3 weeks now, isn't it? So for him, it's about playing football. And he might look at Everton and go, "Well, I'm not going to play you. You're like using me now." But these want me, these have put me in their first team. I've played well, got in that team. And for all we know, Leipzig, well, they probably are going, we want to build a team round you. You're an integral part of our team. You come here, you're in, you're like, it's up to you. It's yours to lose. Yeah. Whereas Everton might be like,
and also,
you've got a battle to get in here.
They're a good team. They're challenging. I'm not saying they're going to win the German league, and I'm not saying the German league is as good as the Premier League, but they're in Europe, and they are challenging for a Champions League place. We're not going to do either of those things this season. So, from that point of view, you might go, well, actually, they're actually better, and they're better for my development. because the league suits me, because maybe it's not as good, or maybe it's not.
Well, it's not, is it? Because obviously a lot of the youngsters are going and playing, like Jordan Sancho.
But you can get over there, play every week, and then maybe once, you know, I've been there for a couple of years, maybe then I'll get a move to there, I can go back to London or something. So, from his point of view, he's probably thinking, yeah, this is well better for my development than playing for Everton, so...
I hope he doesn't go, and I hope that Everton...
Everton stick to the guns.
Well, Everton should really just say, look, we want you to stay, going to be part of it, which we know the Brands and Silver have said, and we'll look at it at Christmas if you've had no thing, because if Leipzig want you that much, they'll still want you at Christmas, but you've got the thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I mean, Everton might look at it and go, if he keeps making noises, Everton might go, well, you actually don't play, you hardly play for us, so if these come in with 25 million, we'll sell you and we'll go and buy someone else with that money. But hopefully, I'd rather we just kept them, and then if we could add another one, which we quite clearly want another one, then we could maybe move Balassi out and stuff, and then you'd have Walcott.
Well, if we were to lose Balassi before he went, that would be a big sign to Lookman, wouldn't it?
And it looks like, you know, if you're going down the "I'll no smoke without fire" route, Balassi's on his way, isn't he, to Turkey? Because every day there's another report. It's close now. It's this. He's going, and you know, again today it's the same thing. He's definitely be moving by it. It might be going to Portugal because he's going to. So by all accounts, that looks like it may move closer. And then
we'll find out. We'll find out next week, I imagine, about a lot of things. Let us know your thoughts on this game. We'll be touching on more about obviously the possibility of outs on the preview for the Algarve Cup and what this tournament will mean over the weekend, so make sure you look out for that. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please do click the bell for alerts so you know exactly when a video is out, and if you want more videos, join us on Patreon.